All right, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us again for our live broadcast with details about the Riley County coronavirus response. My name is Vivian Uccello. Today it is Wednesday, April 8th. Joining us today, we have Riley County Local Health Officer Julie Gibbs, as well as Assistant Director of the Riley County Police Department, Kurt Muldrup, and ASL Sign Language Interpreter, Tony Kroll. Thank you all for being here with us today. We're going to start with a brief statement from Julie Gibbs.
Right, thanks, Vivian. Hi, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you and congrats. We continue to be one of the leaders in the state when it comes to our social distancing grade. Along with Greeley County, we have been assigned a grade A when it comes to movement in our county. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay at home unless you need food or health care. When you do have to get groceries, try delivery or curbside, and do not congregate in groups outside of your home. Let's keep our A and continue to be a leader in our state. As of today, Kansas has 1,046 positives statewide. That's up by 146 from yesterday. Kansas also has 38 deaths overall, and that's up by 11 from yesterday. Kansas has 248 hospitalizations. It has 19 confirmed positive cases, with 5 of those being recovered. We are monitoring 19 individuals, and we have 15 tests pending. There have been a total of 106 negative tests in the county so far. We have these numbers and more listed on our website and updated daily. So please visit rileycountyks.gov. Other people at this time. Check on your neighbors, offer to shop for your elderly friends, and protect others by wearing a cloth mask if you'll be in a situation where social distancing is hard to maintain. Remember, for general questions, we are encouraging everyone to email us at rileycountycovid19@gmail.com. If you are experiencing symptoms, please call the screening line at 785-323-6400. Check for up-to-date information on our website at rileycountyks.gov, and please share our Facebook posts. Remember to take care of your mental and physical health by staying hydrated, getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, eating your fruits and vegetables at each meal, and exercising at least 30 minutes every day. It's also important to unplug every once in a while. Turn off everything for a couple of hours each day and give yourself a break, especially from coronavirus news. That's all for now. I'll turn it over to Kurt.
Thank you. Today, I'd like to talk to the faith community. This weekend, Christians all around the world will celebrate Easter. Traditionally, this is done in large and small gatherings inside local churches. Many have sunrise services out in the open field or in a local park or in the church parking lot and even out on a hill on the Kansa Prairie. Being a Christian myself, I too look forward to gathering each year with my local church in this manner. But this year, I think our celebration needs to look much different than in the past. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic that we're experiencing, we're being encouraged to restrict our gathering together as a local body to worship. Something I'm sure we're all struggling with, but I want you to understand this is not a restriction to worship freely this weekend. All faiths can and should continue to worship as they see fit. This is just an encouragement to not physically gather together as a congregation in one place, to exercise that freedom to worship. We can and should use the technology that we've been blessed with, that we're even using right now, to virtually gather together and worship. Please understand the sole purpose of this is to safeguard the health and safety of our community as a whole. I firmly believe this is an opportunity for each of us in the faith community to really demonstrate our call to love one another by staying home and worshiping as a family. I plead with our local pastors and church leaders to join with me and encourage your congregations to put others first this weekend and worship home for the Easter weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Kurt and Julie. We have a few questions to start with. I will go ahead and open it up to the media. If you'd like to ask questions, please feel free.
Can you tell us, sorry, this is Becky with WIBW. Can you tell us if the newest cases are travel related or if they are community spread cases?
Right, we do know that a few of our new cases do not have any travel in their history. And I would say it's safe to say at this time, as we announced on Sunday, that there is community spread. So it's safe to say to just proceed with caution like you should be doing anyway. Stay at home unless you need to get out. When you are out, make sure that you're practicing good hand hygiene and wearing that mask yourself. Just make sure that you're doing everything you can to help protect others and also to help protect yourself, because there is community spread.
Okay, next question from the media.
I know that the order from the governor regarding religious gatherings has been rescinded. So do you anticipate any change in how you're approaching it? I know there's recommendations, but there won't be any enforcement, correct?
Correct. We know that the governor's executive order 2018 came out and caused quite a stir, which is actually what prompted me to talk about what I talked about this weekend or just now. And yes, it has been overturned, and I'm honestly pleased with that. I want to continue, though, to encourage congregations to do this on their own, to make this decision on their own, like I said, and encourage the congregations to worship at home.
AD Muldrup, that kind of brings up something I wanted to talk about in terms of social gatherings that are not necessarily religious in nature. Can you talk about some things that RCPD has been seeing lately? I know you've been getting some reports.
Right. As the warmer weather increases, so did the desire for everybody to get together outside and have barbecues and house parties. And I understand that. I want to do the same thing. Unfortunately, we're in unique times, and these type of social gatherings should be avoided. The police department's received several calls throughout the week and this weekend about folks gathering together for their typical spring house parties. So Captain Fink, our patrol commander, has put together a little flyer that we've given out to the officers to take to these parties as they start to gather, to try and help educate and encourage especially the college age kids that we're starting to see really want to get together and gather now that they may have a little bit more free time, to help them understand the importance of the social separation here and the goal to not spread this disease any further. Our intent here is to, again, gain voluntary compliance. So don't be surprised if you see an officer show up at your barbecue or your game of cornhole and join in, and encourage you to maybe break it up, get it under the group of 10. We're not trying to be party poopers. We're just trying to keep everyone safe and stop the community spread. As far as enforcement, again, it's the goal of the Riley County Police Department all the time, but especially during this, to gain voluntary compliance. Yes, there's a provision in these types of gatherings. It's a Class C misdemeanor, up to $100 fine. But honestly, I don't see us needing to do that. So far, we've been able to gain compliance. I don't think anyone wants to intentionally cause these issues. I think they just forget and gather together. But that is an option, and we'd use it in an extreme case, because the ultimate goal here is to stop the spread of this disease.
Thank you, Kurt. And as I understand it, just to recap what you've said, that RCPD will be out kind of exploring and approaching people who are violating the social gatherings ban. Hopefully not having to issue any fines, but do you have that option if people refuse to comply? Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if it's in an extreme situation, we do it. But we want to be proactive. We do this anyway. So I'm encouraging officers to make contact and not be a negative situation, but one to encourage everyone to do the right thing. And I think we'll have compliance. We've had the same experience already in the various situations we've gone to, either with businesses and even gatherings out at Pillsbury Crossing or some of the house parties we've already gone to. So I think everyone desires to do the right thing. Just may forget that this group is getting a little big.
Mm-hmm. In terms of, will RCPD officers ever get to the point that they're asking people to provide some sort of paperwork to prove that that they're outperforming an essential function or seeking essential services.
Yeah, as I've said before, and nothing in any of the orders require that. In fact, it explicitly states that's not required. So no, we won't ever do that. I don't think there's any need for that. People need to not worry. You don't need travel papers.
Thank you. This question is for Julie. People have had some questions about daycare specifically. Are they still open? Why are they still open? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Daycares are still open. There are some that have chosen to close on their own. We go by KDHE guidelines, and KDHE at this time is not recommending that we close daycares. We know that we have a lot of essential workers out there that need childcare, and so we are not closing daycares. However, in our last order, Order 4, we've set very clear guidelines for daycare providers. Many of them were already doing those, screening and taking temps and making sure to limit group sizes to 10 or under. So those are some of the guidelines that we've put in place for daycare providers, and they are following those guidelines.
Excellent, thank you. And I know, again, we can't predict the future, but would one of you be able to speak about possibly the likelihood that the stay-at-home order, either the governor's order or the local order, might be extended, or what can we expect for the future for Riley County?
So I've been listening to Dr. Lee Norman, and he has predicted this week and next week to be our 2 worst weeks, with us, Kansas, the state of Kansas, peaking at the end of April, early May. I predict that the stay-at-home order will be extended from April 19th, possibly to another week or 2.
Thank you so much for that. We've also had quite a few questions about the wearing of cloth masks for people who are going out in social situations where social distancing practices are difficult to uphold, such as grocery stores and pharmacies. We announced this morning a partnership with Westview Community Church to collect masks. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure. As of yesterday, we did establish a relationship with Westview Community Church, where they will be a hub for donations of masks and pickup masks. So they are taking donations starting this week. Actually, they started it today, and they'll be available again on Friday from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. You can just drop them off there at their west entrance. I believe it's 615 Gillespie Drive. We do have more information on our Facebook. And they will also be available on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until noon. So please drop off any donations that you have, and then distribution will start next week. They'll be available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. and on Saturday as well, 9 a.m. till noon.
Do we have any further questions from the media at this time?
Yes, my name is Bailey Britton. I'm with the K-State Collegian. I was just wondering what the average age of people that have been confirmed to have the virus is.
Sure. So in the state of Kansas, we're seeing the average age to be 50, 60-year-olds. In Riley County, it's younger because our population is younger. So we are seeing mostly 20s and 30-year-olds with positives.
Any other questions at this time? And Julie, a question came in specifically regarding golf courses and the fact that they are still open in the state of Kansas. Can you speak to that a little bit, please?
Sure. Golf courses, according to the governor's order, are exempt. However, we want to keep the groups smaller than 10 or 10 or under, preferably, and definitely only 1 person per golf cart. That's recommended. So we still want to abide by the stay-at-home order, but please know that those are exempt according to the governor's order.
And if people want some more information about the governor's stay-home order or the Kansas Essential Functions Framework, that information is available on the governor's website. I'll post it in the comments of this video as well. Okay.
Nick McNamara from K-Man. Sorry if I'm intruding, but have you seen any increase in your ability to your testing capabilities? And if not, do you have any word on maybe when you expect that to come along?
Yeah, not at the time, but we're looking forward to that as information keeps coming down from the state. We know that the state has some more capabilities. And so hopefully we'll be getting that as well here in Riley County. But as of now, our testing is still limited, and we still follow strict criteria as far as who is to be tested.
As far as people who are being monitored by Riley County, can you explain again what that monitoring means?
Sure. So these are individuals that either came in from what we call a hot spot and are being quarantined for the 14 days, or they've been in contact with somebody who has been tested positive for COVID and they need to be quarantined for the 14 days. They will also be individuals who have tested positive, and we are monitoring them every day. So when we monitor them, that means we call them every day and ask them what their symptoms are like, and ask them if they still have a fever or if they have developed a fever.
Okay, thank you. And then once again, one final question regarding businesses. I first want to state that the Q&A hotline is still open. We are encouraging people to, rather than call, since your message will go to voicemail, and since everyone is working from home, please email your questions if possible to Riley County COVID-19@gmail.com. And again, that is posted on our Facebook page and in the comments, as well as the Riley County Coronavirus website. But I've heard a question again today, and we've had several people ask about car dealerships and kind of the fact that they have been considered essential functions. Julie, would you just, or Kurt, would you speak to that for just a moment?
Sure. Yeah. Again, according to the governor's order, they are deemed essential, so they are exempt from that stay-at-home order. However, we, of course, like the golf courses, we want you to proceed with caution and make sure that you're using proper hand hygiene, make sure that you're still practicing social distancing. In that instance, that might be a little hard to do, so you might want to consider wearing a mask.
And with those dealerships, I believe the showrooms are to be closed, but they're still out showing the cars out on the lot. And then by appointment, you go inside to work on the deal.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow again at 4:15 on Facebook Live. We have written updates that come out every day and trying to share as much information as possible. Please remember, stay home unless it's absolutely essential that you go out. Thank you so much for doing everything you can to keep Riley County safe. And we're here if you have questions. Thank you so much.